welcome to the Top 6. I'm Quincy Larson with freeCodeCamp. I am joined by Matt Billman, CEO and co-founder of Networq, Cole Crumport, the CEO and co-founder of FormSpree, and Chris Anderson, the lead developer evangelist for Fauna, the database. So today we are going to be talking with a lot, actually 7. I said top 6, but actually we decided to extend it to a 7th one because we were so bowled over by the quality of the submissions. We're going to be talking with 7 teams of hackathon participants, many of whom did not know one another 36 hours ago, came together, and they built some amazing stuff. And we're going to see that amazing stuff, and we're going to get to the bottom of how they built it and who they are. So first, we're going to start with Caption This. And gentlemen, perhaps we can start with you. Just a quick introduction, who you are, where you're from, what you do.
Yep. My name is VisiJAM. I'm from New Hampshire, and I actually am a technician. I work for GE Aviation, so as a technician, and I just graduated from the Granite State College. So, yeah, that's what I do, and I love coding.
Great, thank you, VJ. Welcome, and congratulations on recent graduations.
Thank you, Quincy.
I'm David Carter. I just moved to San Francisco in July, and originally from the Antelope Valley, Palmdale, Lancaster. And right now I work at a WordPress agency, and so I'm looking to get more into React and the JAMstack.
Great. Are you a Broncos fan?
I am a Broncos fan.
How did you guess that?
Hi, my name is Sumit. I'm a QA engineer and I live in Sunnyvale, California. I actually started learning front-end development at freeCodeCamp, so this is a big day for me. And yeah, I'm continuing to learn more of front-end like React and other frameworks. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Thank you, Sumit. Well, perhaps you could go ahead and give us a very quick demonstration of how Caption This works.
All right, so Caption This is basically going to present you with a random GIF. So every time you load the page, it's going to get a random GIF. So if you don't like it, you could always press this next button. And you could choose better GIFs. And so you could enter in any caption you want, submit it, and it's going to add it to our list of submitted GIFs. And every user could, whether or not you submit a GIF, you can upvote. And we're going to rank all of these submissions by votes. So the most popular will always be at the top. And we've added authentication with Networq.
Right on. You've got some pretty cool GIFs here too, and very good captions for someone. What's your favorite so far that you've? What caption are you most proud of so far?
It got deleted actually.
Yeah, it got deleted when we added our authentication.
So something like when the startup, like the judges see their startups API being used.
Where do you get the GIFs from?
It's the API is called the API is called Jiffy. So
Okay,
yeah, that's where we're getting the apps from.
So where do you stand on the GIF versus GIF pronunciation? Everybody who pronounces it GIF say woo. Ready, set, woo. Everybody who pronounces it GIF say woo.
Actually, I like to call it GIF so that there is
A true diplomat. Great. Well, judges, what do you all think so far?
It's great. I really love this one. I think it's fun. I think it's kind of a cool. I like that you can upvote it and then everyone can see that. So it's participatory. It's kind of it's cool.
It's a good scope. A lot of times, hack apps will overscope or underscope, and it's hard to be impressive like that. But it's impressive to bring it mostly to completion because you picked the right scope.
Yeah, I would certainly share that opinion. I've seen so many hackathon projects that are extremely ambitious, and then they have to pare back all their ambitions right before the demo time. But it looks like this is something that was definitely doable within the time frame, and you all executed great.
Did you have any sort of top things you would have liked to do that there wasn't time from, that you had to scope back from? Or
There was we wanted to tie voting to user authentication. Right now we're just storing that with local storage, so tying that into the user would have been nice.
storing it with local storage is a smart sort of gradual way of getting there.
Do you imagine you'll keep hacking on it?
Maybe.
I'm into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about
Cool.
it.
Right on. And what kind of collaborative filtering method are you thinking about? Are you thinking about like Reddit or Hacker News or some of those other collaborative filtering algorithms, and or how are you planning for things to gradually decay and fall off of the top?
We haven't thought of that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Okay. Well, I mean, there are plenty of models. I just wanted to see if you all were thinking about it, because you don't want the top voted thing to always be on the top, because it'll
Yeah.
the winner
Sure,
takes
sure,
all
sure.
phenomenon.
Should be fresh stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have some tabs on there, so recent ones or most popular tabs, so that we can work on those.
How did you split up the work between you?
So Vijay did all the styling stuff,
Yeah.
all the CSS, and he did all the JavaScript part, and I was there for like adding features sometimes, and also for like running around and if like we have problems with FaunaDB or FormsFree, which we had. so talking to those two guys about how do we like go forward, what should we do, and all those things.
Yeah, we had great help, so we'd like to thank all the judges and helpers there during the hackathon process. It was really great. Without them, we couldn't even complete this, for sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
What have you learned from this hackathon that you didn't know at the beginning about yourself?
For me, like I was, as I said, I was coding in freeCodeCamp online thing. So I never worked as a team. I never coded as team. So it's really a different experience, I believe, and I really learned a lot of stuff and how team, goes up. So I really learned a lot about the teaming thing the first most thing, and about the reading documentations. Those things were very important, and because the APIs we used here and the databases we used, they were completely new for us. But the judges, they showed us where to go for the technical documentation, so we just read that, and I think because of that, so yeah, we learned a lot actually.
Probably the collaboration skills, working with people in different skill sets and learning to divide the work so everyone works to their advantages.
We didn't know each other before this hackathon until yesterday. We didn't know each other. I'm from New Hampshire, all the way from New Hampshire, and so we just made a team, and boom.
Are there other apps you almost built?
No, we didn't even have an idea for this. It's kind of spur of the moment.
At what point did you shift from like idea and conceptualization and building your team? Like at what hour of yesterday would you say you actually sat down and started coding?
Probably after lunch. Yeah.
Just after lunch, yes.
Right. Any other questions?
What was the hardest thing you had to solve while building this?
I think the login one.
To log in, because we just had limited time the last hour.
Yeah.
And then,
Incrementing the votes. maybe.
incrementing the votes.
Mm.
Learning how to we had to read and write and
talk to FaunaDB, like how would you do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Well, great. Thank you so much for coming up here and for demoing. Pleasure meeting you three gentlemen, and I'm very impressed with what you've done here.
Great job.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
thank
you
you.
very much. Thank you guys.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Just let me know when the audio is back.
It's back.
Okay, great. Yeah. So while Hacksby's coming up here, go ahead and get situated. I just want to take a moment to recognize some of you are going to need to stand. Be careful that white stuff is not like a skate park. It'll break if you stand on it. All right. So I just want to take a moment to acknowledge one of the biggest sponsors of the event, I guess. Maybe the biggest sponsor. But Netlify is such an amazing supporter of the developer community, and they're really pushing forward with a lot of technology that's going to make the internet faster and safer and make it easier for organizations to scale their website. So Matt Bellman from Netlify is a visionary, and I'm very excited personally to see where he goes and where Netlify goes in the coming years. So thanks again for your support.
Thanks. Thanks for having me here, and thanks for helping putting all of this on and driving it forward, and for building freeCodeCamp. I think everything we do is about helping developers build things. So being at a place and seeing hundreds of developers building things with our thing is really exciting.
And on the note of people building things using Netlify, let's talk to Hacksby. How are you?
Great.
Good.
Yeah, doing great.
Yeah. Well, we starting with this gentleman. We'll just go, I guess, in clockwise order. Yeah, let's do clockwise. We're gonna go like this. Why not? We've got 2 dimensions here.
Yeah.
And just tell us your name, where you're from, and what you're doing with your time these days.
All right. Well, my name is Robert Wolf. I'm originally from Europe, but I'm taking my exchange semester here studying UX design. But I also like to code, and when I discovered JAMstack about a year ago, I saw one of the first keynotes. I was so excited. I was like telling all my friends, stop doing what you're doing, start doing the new way. And I'm so happy to be here today, where it actually kind of has grown, and I feel like there's a lot of people around doing the same thing.
Great.
Yeah, hi, I'm Anil. I'm working as a software developer here in Bay Area, and I'm really excited about the React stuff and all. Then I got to know about the Gatsby stuff, and I have built some kind of local projects with me, and then I got to know more about the JAMstack, and it was really exciting. So I want to know who out there is working on that, and I got to know about this hackathon. It's pretty good environment out here.
Yeah. Right on.
So my name is Kyle Smith, and I'm a student at CSU Stanislaus, a computer science student. And yeah, just started learning about web technologies when I was in high school, and found out about JAMstack about like a few months ago. And it was just so easy to grasp, and just been interested ever since.
Great.
My name is Manuel, and I'm a computer science student in Cabrillo, based in Santa Cruz. And honestly, I don't remember how I came across freeCodeCamp, but I came across it thankfully, and I've been programming ever since.
Great. I'm Ryan Weimer. I live here in Oakland in the Bay Area. I actually work as a project/account manager. So I like these kind of opportunities because I've never done a hackathon before, but I thought it'd be awesome to get my hands dirty in the code. And I really like the JAMstack. I've built a number of personal websites with it, and it's such a contrast from like the monolithic things that I'm used to in the enterprise world, doing it for a big client. It's really refreshing to do something like this with the JAMstack.
Yeah, well, Ryan, it looks like you're at the helm.
Yeah, let me know if we can get this displaying. I see
get
blue, so.
Is it plugged in?
It is plugged
in.
in.
You may have to unplug it and plug it in again.
Okay, let's get that.
That's how they fixed the Hubble the other day.
Classical. I support answer.
Yeah.
Plug in that HDMI into.
Into the back of the USB dongle.
Yeah.
Oh, that would probably help, right?
Conspicuously sitting there, not plugged in. Good eye.
Just all audio only.
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, this is big screen. Here we go. Let's make that full screen.
Nice.
Awesome. All right,
So,
take it away, Robert.
as you already know, our name is Hacksby. We're on a hackathon using Gatsby. This is the problem we're solving. If you ever learned a language with a language app, you know it's a terribly boring and kind of weird process. Usually it's stare at the pictures of people you've never seen before and try to attach your basic vocabulary to the pictures. It doesn't really work. I've tried to learn a language with many different apps. I've never succeeded. So when we came here together in the hackathon, we thought we were going to make something better. We're going to approach learning a language differently. And what we realized is that it's all about you, right? What makes the learning language easier is if you can relate, if your brain can associate things with it. So we wanted to make something relatable and also fun. And that's why we created Ulingual. Now, what Ulingual does is it takes your Instagram images and teaches you new vocab based on them. Now, this is how our app works. So at first, we authorize Instagram. Then we take the pictures from the Instagram, and in real time, we pass them through the Clarify data to get image recognitions and get an idea about what is it in there. Now, Clarify API returns this words, the tags of the images in different languages. So we pull it out in the different language of the user that he selected, and we play a quiz with them. That's how we teach them the words. Now, this is how the quiz looks like. So you have the word frutto, that's for example fruit in Italian, and you have 4 pictures from your Instagram feed. This is my own feed, that's embarrassing. And you have to select the one that it is. And thanks to Clarify API being available in 23 different languages, we can offer this product in 23 languages very easily. So that's exciting. Now we're going to show you a quick demo about how it actually works.
Bigger. All right, so this is the demo that we had showed before. So this is a little bit more limited in terms of we wanted to show Spanish specifically, and again with Robert, but just to kind of give you an idea. And some of these words, you know, there's obviously room for improvement. Masculino, masculine, could be a lot of these, right? Oh, time ran out. So that was an example of plug-in time. Pueblo.
Yeah,
Select great one. We have a response for good job. Beach, if I select the wrong one, oh, sorry, incorrect. And we're also totaling your score, so we kind of have some logic involved with that. Frutto, get an example. And then basically we give you a score that we total, and we give you an ability to tweet out your results. You know, I did great on, you know, my test in Spanish with my own selfies or something. You know, we kind of leave it up to the user and how they want to promote it, but that's kind of our way of cross-promoting it. Another cool idea we thought was like, this is such a new thing, and there's probably going to be all sorts of bugs and ways to improve it. We want to give an ability to add some feedback, right? So using Form Spree, we're able to simply, you know, add a way to give your name, email, what's your feedback, how can we make our app better?
So you can send it.
And actually send it. That's what's some dummy data, obviously, but you know, you get the idea, right? Form Spree makes it really easy. And something that we're really excited about is that's what we were showing before, and we were already kind of hacking away even in the short time we had. Like, let's add some more languages, right? So we're already doing that. Let's add German. So we're already working on making that improved. So it's just cool that we could do so much more with it.
Yeah.
So that's an example of German instead of Spanish, and with my Instagram feed. There you go.
Very cool.
Cool.
So you were able to get Instagram integrated, or did you see the data?
So
that was the biggest challenge we had. We had to
Maybe
say
our API experts can talk about this.
Initially, when we thought about the Instagram thing, right, we thought the privacy policies will be there and all, and we couldn't get the data and all. So then we figured out that there is a API there, out there, but the only constraint we faced is that there's a sandbox API, which allows only 10 users initially, and each user will have only 20 pictures from their feed. So that's how we are developing right now. But when we have a full-fledged app, we can send for the Instagram access so that it can be expanded to an n number of users. So that's what we are working on.
Yeah, so that's
But
definitely
that's one kind of problem we faced here.
Well, the product looks great.
Yeah.
You've done a good job of just keeping the number of elements
Yeah.
to an absolute minimum.
Yeah.
And it's just colorful and big elements. So I definitely commend your design sensibilities. Which of you?
UX guy.
Yeah.
We kind of collaborate.
Robert and I collaborated. It was great, kind of like pair programming, split into API group and front end design. So it was awesome.
Actually, that worked out pretty great. Actually, the API group and the front end group, so that the task can be divided easily.
Yeah.
And the integration had some hiccups, but yeah, we got it. It's pretty good.
What was the planning like? Did you sit down and think about? I mean, how did you choose the problem to solve, and then how did you set about choosing Instagram and machine learning to solve it?
Well, so we actually gathered on Friday on a Discord chat. So we didn't have any idea, and we started deciding on Saturday morning. We were very fascinated with the Clarify API. We thought, wow, this is such a powerful thing. We can do so many things with it. At first, we thought about helping visually impaired people. And then we had this idea of languages, and it just seemed like such a fun concept and a lot of things to do with it. By noon, we know this is what we're going with.
How did you select sort of the scope for the app, and were there some things you felt like, we really wanted those in, but we had to cut them out? Or
Yeah, actually, when we first thought about the app, right, we thought like many of the kids' apps are like this. Like, suppose when you go to school, right, you learn about a fruit or something by seeing to that, and you learn the language like that. But when we thought about Instagram, it came out of the blue, and then we got to know about adults as well and new language as well, and that's how we thought this would be more personal to the user rather than using some random images. So that's how it came out.
Yeah. Exactly. Using Instagram was kind of the key idea that makes us excited, because
So
everyone
really
loves themselves. They love their own pictures. They're just gonna be addicted to this game as we are. We stopped developing and start playing.
But yeah, I think we definitely ran into items with scope, right? Me thinking about it's like project management, right? You know, we ran into lots of cool features that we wanted to, so we actually had a whiteboard and wrote down a list like, these are problems, these are some kind of features, and we tried to address the problems before the features. Like we wanted to add sound, that'd be really cool, but that's probably lower priority than some of these other ones. So it's good to work on it in that way.
Are you all concerned that at some point after playing the game a little bit that you're going to kind of be seeing the same images? I mean, I have a somewhat active Instagram feed, but probably not more than maybe like 50 images in there, and I can imagine that I won't be able to learn all of German with just.
Actually, to be frank, unfortunately, the Instagram is not allowing other public users' images to be seen. So that's one kind of privacy policy they have. But other thing is that it can, I think it has an endpoint where we can get the data from a specific location by giving the latitude, longitude. So that may work. So that's kind of one of the enhancements we thought about for this.
Yeah. So you can't like get images from friends or anything like that.
Unfortunately, due to privacy issues, this would have been much easier 3 years ago. But it's a little bit more difficult now.
On the other hand, Clarify gives us a list of 20 words per image, so we could. Basically, if you have 3 images, you can still learn 60 words.
It's a good point. Yeah.
Is that extensible? Can you add can you teach Clarify more terms and stuff?
So right now we're just using their general model. We haven't really explored in there. I hope we could maybe develop our own model based on Instagram pictures. A lot of food, a lot of selfies, right? Yeah,
that's a good point.
Have you considered maybe expanding the functionality by encouraging people to take more photos on Instagram and gradually, like, hey, maybe you should take a picture of fruit.
These are the areas that you learn.
That's a good angle. I like that.
Yeah, you could have like a little wizard that, like, oh, I noticed you're eating. Is that cereal? Just like, yeah.
It could also teach you to be a good photographer that way. Photography projects and language projects.
Yeah, all sorts of applications.
Yeah. One more thing that's important to say. For us, it's important it's a website, not an app, because this is something people will go and try out really quickly. And that's where the power of JAMstack is coming. So it opens up instantly, and with one click you can start and play. We also will save data in the local storage, so when the user visits again, they will have their app already open. Yeah.
Is it mobile friendly? Is this thing gonna?
I mean, because the design is pretty basic, we didn't have to do too much.
If you go into the quiz.
Let's see. On the quiz itself, let's go back to this. We did make it somewhat
Oh,
mobile
nice.
friendly
Nice.
as much as we can, with a simple design.
No, that's good.
Have you considered talking to language teachers to get feedback on how this could be used, how this could be improved?
So none of us is actually a language teacher.
Yeah, that's a good point. We did have personal experience because Robert has learned English and other languages, so that was good. But
Yeah.
I'm sure other experts would be helpful.
Yeah. Well, is this something you all are considering pursuing beyond the hackathon?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
It'd be a fun, very
we
fun.
came to be very excited.
Yeah.
It needs push notifications to remind me it's time to study again.
Yeah, that's right.
And to remind you to take Instagram photos of
Yeah.
things you want to learn how to talk about.
Yeah, we wanted to teach you about blah, but
Yeah. And when you go to your next country, you can talk to your friends in different language about your Instagram feed, right? That's the whole point of it.
The whole
Yeah, well, I would encourage you to continue pursuing it. I'm not like an expert in human psychology or anything, but the vanity angle and the way that the brain works and stuff, it may actually be more compelling and form stronger relations if it's something personally related to you that you're associating that word with. So thank you, gentlemen, for coming in. Thanks for building this excellent application in such a short time. It's very impressive. And yeah, we'll look forward to hearing more about what you do in the coming months. And if you do continue working on this, let us know, because we'd like to see how it comes along and maybe do a catch up and do a retrospective on it.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the support.
Okay, everyone. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice, thank you.
Nice meeting you. Yeah, nice meeting you. Great work.
All right, and next team who's going to come in is going to be Make Squad. I'm very excited about Make Squad. I'm also very excited about
What are you wearing?
Form Spree. Let's do Form Spree. You have to thumb wrestle to see who I talk about first. No, thank you so much, Cole. Cole, again, CEO and co-founder of Form Spree, Cole Krumholtz. And thanks for all the guidance you've provided to the many participants here. You have truly created a great developer experience as far as installing forms. And forms are a big deal. And pretty much every developer has to deal with forms. And I'm really excited to hear that you're so rapidly expanding. And you've got the API on this weekend.
Yeah.
Sounds like development is coming along swimmingly over there.
the team who couldn't make it here, they were working really hard up until like pretty much the last minute, and yeah, it was great. We got a lot of good stuff done at the end, including an entire redesign of the site, which yeah, it was a great forcing function for us to get a lot of stuff done. I think now we're going to probably do some cleanup.
All right, well, good luck paying down the technical debt. And, here we are with our next very exciting team. First of all, before we get started, I just want to say that this was incredibly well presented. I think all of us agreed that your delivery was phenomenal. So we're looking forward to hearing a little bit more of that delivery here. But Make Squad, let's start with you, Faith, and perhaps you can introduce yourself, and then we can kind of go around in clockwise and introduce everybody else.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm Faith, and I'm a student at Make School, so hence the name, Make Squad. And yeah, so we have some other people here on the team as well.
Yeah. Well, before we do, if you could just tell us like where you're from,
Sure.
and aside from being a student at Make School, like just a little bit about your background.
Sure. So I'm from Atlanta. I moved out to San Francisco to attend Make School. Right now, I'm working on back-end web development as my primary concentration. But I was interested in this hackathon because of the opportunity to work kind of more in the front end and exercise that skill a little bit. And I was excited by all of the APIs. And I also have an interest in things that have to do with machine learning. And we did employ a little bit of the Clarify API in here. So that was really fun to work with and to see how that works.
Yeah. Awesome. And Tushar?
Yes, I'm Tashara Boucher, and I'm from Southern California. I've been in San Francisco for about 2 years, and I came here to do to be a chaplain in the hospital. But after my residency year, I guess wanted to do like a combination of both like tech and the social services. So my ultimate goal is to try to have a nonprofit for young adults who've been mentally or physically abused in childhood, and to equip them with a trade, like so coding, and to be able to like so that they can have a better lifestyle after having a slump, I guess, for the years. And so this hackathon is a great experience for me to get experience, to network with different people, and to meet these wonderful people who are from Make School and graciously welcomed me into their team. I'm excited.
Awesome.
I'm Edwin, and I'm from Georgia, also in Make School, and I moved here about 4 months ago. And well, I've worked with coding off and on for like the last 10 years, but nothing really serious until I moved here. But it's always been a passion of mine, and I had a lot of fun at this hackathon learning these new technologies.
Great.
Oh, I'm Jonathan, and I'm a full stack developer at Make School, and I'm from Houston, Texas.
Awesome.
Okay, hi, I'm Stephanie. I'm a junior at Make School, so I just started a couple months ago in August, and I'm from Miami. I just heard about the opportunity. I've done also freeCodeCamp, like a couple of people here as well, and it was great. I've also done one hackathon before, and it was great. It was stressful too, but the end product was great. It was lovely. I love building products.
Yeah, and since you all are from Make School, perhaps just a quick word about Make School, because it is a new educational model.
Yeah, so it's a new education model, and it is product-based learning. So basically, instead of attending a lot of long, boring lectures and writing stuff on the whiteboard for hours and kind of getting entrenched in the theory of it, we build products. Throughout the term, you build a product. At the end of every term, we have like our own mini hackathon. It's an intensive where you build a product in a week. We work on teams, we work individually, so throughout the time that you attend the program, you're building up a portfolio. And so that's why a lot of us were interested in doing this hackathon, because we wanted to have another opportunity to build something, to to ship it, get our idea out there. Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and how long is the program?
Make School is 2 years, and it is a bachelor's program, so it's an accelerated bachelor's. We have some people who attend for about a year, and then they get hired out of the program, but it's a 2-year-long program.
Great. So at the end of the program, you all have a bachelor's degree?
Yeah.
It's accredited now.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for novel higher education models, it sounds like this might be worth investigating.
Mm-hmm.
So without further ado, let's jump to the demo. You ready?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so our app is called Networq. You can leave your business card at home because your face is your business card. And so we thought a lot about, what it feels like sometimes when you're at these networking events, especially because the world is full of a lot of emerging technologies. Sometimes you forget those business cards, or it's clunky to kind of waffle with those. And so our idea was to build an app where you can simply take a photo of somebody, or you can take a video of them, and you can use that video or that photo to retrieve their virtual business card to get back their information. So we built kind of a minimum viable product here that demonstrates that idea, and we're hoping to have a chance to develop it further in the future, but for now, we do want to start with the app. And so this is the business card info. You would go ahead and fill in your name, your email address, your phone number, your city and state, and then you can fill in your LinkedIn. We would also have Twitter, which would be an optional field, and then another field where you could fill in additional information. And then you could submit that. But before we go to the submission page, we also connected a contact form here. So for people who have questions, for people who have ideas for new features, or for people who have problems using the app, they can ping us. We used Forms3 to connect the contact form. And this form actually does work. It does submit, and we get the email from that, so we could get updated information there. Yeah, you can go ahead and submit it if you want to. And then, of course, we have to prove that we're not a robot.
We're not a room full of robots.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm kind of a robot.
Just a little bit, just a little bit.
All
So
right.
that went through.
Been a couple of submissions from this IP address over there.
Yeah. And then for, you can go ahead and, yeah, there you go. So we got two sides, or two ways to go ahead and check out the database. You can go to camera first, and do you want to go to video first? Camera, okay. And so then you just select the image. So for now, we're using the celebrity model of the API because it was already hooked up to like a training model. But ideally, we would be able to use user photos in the future. And it goes to the database. We used FaunaDB for the database. And we used Clarify for the API. That's the celebrity model that we're using here. And then it would bring back the person's information. We have Leonardo DiCaprio, and we got Kanye as our tests.
Great. And earlier you were able to use a phone to demo this. Could you do that just to show that the image recognition will work from like another device?
And then our third celebrity.
All right.
Do it again.
One more time.
All right. It worked. The demo worked.
Yay! Yeah, and so there's our app.
Yeah. Well, great demo. Thanks for going through it. Questions?
How did you know that this was the app you wanted to make? How did you kind of settle into the idea?
Well, we were kind of talking about it
Right.
while we were coming into the building on the first day, and we like bounced ideas around, and we talked more about the ideas once we got in, and then decided that this would be a good idea to do at this hackathon.
At what point did you start working on this specific idea?
So when we first started out, we had been taught that you actually have to plan first before you start even coding. So we didn't start coding until like the middle of the day. And so we started with user stories to try to make sure we had the app do what it's supposed to do. And we even used parts of GitHub like the projects page where you have a Kanban board and you can move the cards over once it's been completed. So I think that's a good way to plan, so that way you can know whether what you want to do is actually done.
Yeah, and I can testify that we use GitHub projects all the time as a team. It's very powerful.
Isn't it satisfying when you can move the cards over? It's like crossing it off your list. Yeah, I like that.
How did y'all organize your work? How did you decide which teams did that, or front end, back end, that kind of thing?
Okay.
I think we all played on our strengths. I know that's like one of the first things that we asked is like, what are you good at?
Right.
And we divided it up that way. And we had some very strong in back ends, like she said. The Make School focuses on back end, but they also focus on full stack. So really one full front end specialist right here. And so and really everybody just chipping in where there's slack given, or if someone was struggling, then we would help out in any of the areas.
You all did a great job of the design.
Yeah, thank you.
It's like, pink and blue. I think they're complementary colors. Like if you look at like a color wheel, and very minimalist design. You can see like the little element that kind of flourish up there with the rounded raindrop shapes. Who did the design?
Well.
All of us a little bit.
Yeah,
I helped with the front end.
Yeah, I did a lot of the front end, but yeah, I had Faith help me with a lot of the things, just making sure it worked and it was cohesive on every single page as well. So yeah, we had some ideas about what we wanted and the way we wanted it to look. We did want it to be minimalist, so I'm glad you said that. But we also wanted. I was really a fan of a lot of color in the background, so we can market to people who are networking and starting off in their careers. Yeah,
for the modern kind of professional.
Yeah, it definitely looks like something that would get acquired by LinkedIn.
Exactly. That's what we're going for.
Yeah, they had like a card app where you just took a photo of the card and then it, you know.
And now you can take a picture.
Exactly.
On that note, are you all planning to continue working on this after the weekend's over?
Oh, if LinkedIn buys it, that would
Even if LinkedIn doesn't tenure an offer tomorrow morning?
I think we have a great kind of, I said minimum viable product before, and I think it would be good for us to continue development on it so that we can get it hooked up and get users actually in there to make sure that this is something that people would use, that people would enjoy using.
Yeah, actually, we haven't done any user testing, so we don't even know if this could be good for them. You know, it could just be a product and it doesn't go anywhere. So we have to check our market as well.
Yeah, that's sage observation. And I can tell you, I don't carry business cards, and people often ask for them, and I just say, I don't know. Hand me your phone, I'll email you. People being able to go.
Now you'll be able to say, my face is my business card.
Exactly. Roll up the card.
I just won't have to have a QR code to make up on.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you again so much for coming in and demoing this and building it. And it sounds like you all are from all over the U.S. Congratulations on converging and forming a team and jiving so cohesively.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So yeah, thanks again, and we're looking forward to hearing about how things go at future hackathons as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Cheers.
Thanks.
Hey.
Thank you.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Great.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're 3 demos into our 6 or 7 teams that we're going to talk to.
4 more left.
And at this time, I want to talk about Chris Anderson.
What do
you want to know? He is the Director of Developer Evangelism at Fauna. And I interviewed this guy yesterday, and I don't know that I've ever talked to somebody who's worked with so many different types of databases that still looks so young. He's definitely got an encyclopedic knowledge of NoSQL databases, and also knows a lot about real-world implementation issues and the trade-offs associated with different types of databases. Chris, thank you so much for coming here and inspiring everybody and sharing your knowledge, and also thanks to you and Fauna for sponsoring this event.
Oh yeah, I really enjoy the little bits of ways to help people get unstuck when they're hacking. To me, that's the fun part.
Yeah. Well, our next team is, I'm going to have to look up your name. Sorry. PB and Jam.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So, you all have these nice Hasra stickers on. What do you think of the Hasra?
I forgot about that.
What do you think of the Hasra mascot?
Oh, I think it's nice. It's got a little character to it.
Yeah. You think it's Octocat tier?
Ooh, it's up there.
We need to have you know how I think it's Game FAQs has the character face off, and last year Tetris L Block won because it's the ultimate hero and saves the day. Yeah, so we should have something like that with mascots and pit Octocat versus Hasra, the guy.
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely.
I'd watch that.
Yeah. So, starting with you, Vince, why don't you tell us a little about yourself, and we're going to move in a clockwise since we got 2 rows here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so my name is Vince. I'm a native San Franciscan, born and raised, and I guess I don't know. I'm an aspiring developer. Currently looking for work, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Right on.
Hi, my name is Gin, like gin and tonic, like the alcohol. I'm also a native San Franciscan, like Vince. I'm also kind of been using FreeCodeCamp to learn and try to learn how to program. I kind of have a background as a sysadmin, but I want to make that leap into the development space. And so this is my first hackathon and trying to learn as much as possible.
All right, next, Brandon.
My name is Brandon Stinson. I am not a developer. I'm currently in the Air Force. I hit 13 years this month. Just trying to learn something new for when I get out. So I've got a couple years left and want to be a developer. So I've been learning with FreeCodeCamp and a couple other resources, and it's my first hackathon.
Awesome.
Yeah, my name is Ruben. I'm a native San Franciscan, but I moved when I was 4. Yeah, I'm not a developer either. I'm a mechanical engineer, and then I transitioned over to electrical, and now I'm trying to transition over to software. And so yeah, I used I got started with FreeCodeCamp, so thank you, Quincy. But yeah, I've just been working on React, and it's also my first hackathon, and it's been just a ton of fun. Like getting to talk with the sponsors, it's cool.
Yeah.
And I'm Austin, and I got a degree in chemical engineering, decided I wanted to switch to software engineering, and so yeah, I relied heavily on FreeCodeCamp for that, and now I work at Human API, which is a startup in San Mateo, and so I have a open source project, you don't know JavaScript exercises, and run a meetup, a React meetup in Berkeley. So.
Wow, prolific bunch. And yeah, from varied backgrounds, although disproportionately from San Francisco. Yeah.
Half of us are from San Francisco.
Well, tell us a little bit. Why don't we plug in so we can demo?
Yeah. So
we'll be able to. Are we going to use your phone?
My phone, yeah.
Oh,
so, there you go.
Whoa! Wow,
That's
there
cool.
we
I've
go.
never
Look
seen
at
my
those hands.
on
Hand model.
Hand model.
We need to get you a cryogenic free.
Oh yeah.
Or what are they called?
All right. So
Zoolander reference failed, but Zoolander reference.
So yeah, so you can go ahead and click on the app. So it's Sicc Piccs. We have this little animation here. So yeah, what Sicc Piccs is it's a game for anyone anyone can play. So right now, we have this create a game button where you can click and create a game. Right now there's a button below it that says no games available, but if there's a game available, then anyone can join. Join a random game that someone else has created. And what the game is once it starts, you could have any number of people that have joined that game, and you need to take a picture of whatever it tells you to take a picture of. And whoever takes the picture of that thing first wins. And it will notify everyone that you won or lost, and then it will take you back to the homepage. So it's kind of like a blazing fast machine learning image recognition scavenger hunt that you can play with your friends or anyone throughout the world. So if any of you would like to play.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right.
Phones out.
Okay.
So yeah, let's go ahead and
What's
create the game.
URL again?
So it's SICC-PICCS Sicc-Piccs.netlify.com.
SiccPiccs.netlify.com.
And so you can, once you get there, you can click join a random game.
Sorry, Sicc Piccs is just PIC, right?
2 C's.
2 C's.
Oh,
Look at that.
Right up there.
Oh, jeez. That's a very different spelling.
Yeah. You might consider an easier spelling.
There's 4 C's.
Don't start yet.
Do your do not disturb.
Yeah. It's on. Yeah, I'm still getting messages. It's okay. Whoa.
All right,
Wishing
so
you luck.
yeah. All right, so it looks like we have 6 players in this game.
All right.
Are you guys in? Good to go?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and start.
Go.
All right, we gotta take a picture of ketchup.
Oh, that's some high-speed turning there.
Oh, wow.
Wait, do I have to?
Can't compete with that
Doing the
guy.
honors.
I'm not sure why, but you have a chance.
Someone's gonna beat you in that. It's the fastest. It's the fastest in the game.
iPhone.
I accidentally denied it permission to.
Oh.
Is there any way to recover from that? Or am I just out?
You can go back and rejoin.
Okay, let's try that.
Oh, I lost.
Go
Who
on.
won?
Ah.
Big winner right there.
Who won? I lost too.
Maybe I didn't win. I did something wrong.
The Did someone get the
I'm
URL
still waiting
online?
for the game.
Oh, someone might have won
Someone's-
online.
One of you, somebody.
Maybe one of the
It's possible.
Yeah.
Somebody
Live
guys
stream
won
with
again.
live
That's
stream as
ridiculous.
well.
Alright, let's try one more time.
Somebody's just sitting here. Yeah.
Wow.
Alright, we're gonna try it one more time.
Hey out there.
They're in the kitchen. They're ready.
Yeah.
I might have ended up in a. Oh, okay. There.
All right, let's do it again. You guys ready?
All right, let's create that game.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. That's there's definitely players
Who was
that are
online in this room? Your game got by
We got some live stream players.
I think you may have a good game on your hands.
All right.
Enjoy it pretty quick.
There's definitely less phones in here than there are players. So.
All right, let's do this. Ketchup.
Ketchup.
What? Use photo. Validating.
Take it.
It greeted me as
You guys
mortal.
validated
A
it
bunch of.
fast.
Oh, that's not
Oh
a picture
wow!
of ketchup.
This is not a picture of ketchup.
Holy cow! He won!
Yeah, ketchup photo was better. You can't just take a photo of ketchup. You have to take one that is probably gonna pass the.
That passes the actual
Good
test.
photographer.
Nice.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
that's
not a
good
good enough
photography. Yeah,
photographer.
All right, so yeah, so right now anyone can create a game, and when you join a game, you just join any kind of random game. So yeah, what we tried to do was make sure to clear out for the demo and get the game going. So, but yeah, anyone with the URL can just go ahead and create a game, and anyone can join, and then whoever creates the game has the control to start. And so right now, what we have in our database as the options are ketchup and coffee, so that we know that we have it. But yeah, with the Clarify API, we could add all kinds of things with all kinds of different models. So yeah.
Are you worried that you might, if you opened it up, that
Yes.
you might end up with, requests for images in there that might put people in harm's way?
Yeah.
Like for
Requests
example.
for images.
Yeah.
So the images the images are all local. So we're not doing anything with the images. We're not sending them, and the ones in our database are just a coffee and a ketchup.
Not like a pickup truck on fire.
Yeah.
No. What other kinds of images do you think you'd load in there to kind of expand the scope of the game?
What other kind of images?
Yeah.
Do you have an example or a thought? So
Dog.
a dog. Oh,
might
you mean
wanna add a
other?
dog.
Yeah. So really, we're kind of just all we're limited by is the Clarify API. So right now, we have a model of the food model, and we just have ketchup and coffee. But yeah, we could.
Yeah, we could pick up trucks on fire and then take a picture of a pickup truck on fire. Yeah.
The intent is not to open up the ability to load photos. We would control like what's available to be hunted.
Yeah.
For the scavenger hunt.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and then right now, so like the whole game is client based in terms of like determining whether you won or not. So, which is it's kind of fun with just the fact that we can have like almost the whole game client side, which is kind of a lot of fun.
Yeah. Obviously it has a like real time component, and so what did you use for that?
Does anyone else want to answer?
Yeah, so we used Hasura. So Hasura is, for anyone listening who doesn't know yet, real time. It's a GraphQL API or a backend database that has real time capabilities. So that's exactly why we chose to build the game. Because that's like one of the primary applications for it.
Yeah, so one of the examples we would, for example, showing the number of people that are in the game, we subscribe to the users that have a game ID of the game that you just created or the game that you're a part of. And so, anytime that the Postgres database changes, you automatically get those changes.
Yeah, whenever someone wins, we're just, like we said, the game's completely client-based, so whenever someone updates the state, in React, that they won, we just update that in the database, so no one's going to take a picture of something weird and push it to our database.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and then we also subscribe to the status of the game, so when it's pending and someone pushes start the game, then it will update for everyone the fact that it's started, in progress, and then when someone wins, it updates to say that the game is finished and who the winner was. So we could expand to have usernames or names or also like you could choose which game that you want to join perhaps. A lot of different ways we could expand out that way.
How was the development process? Like, I guess, how did you decide what you were going to build, and then when did you start building it?
So we started. Yeah, we started.
I think we had the APIs in mind already. Like Clarify and Hasura, like they had, like we just kind of thought about the possibilities, and so we decided on the game because I mean, it's fun to make games, right? And like also, when you make something that's like something, no one here has ever done something exactly like this before, right? And so we're all thinking creatively and everything, and so it helped us. I mean, it pushed us. You know what I mean? So that's like one of the reasons we picked it. And but as far as the development process, we started off with we initially started off with Gatsby because the GraphQL implementation there is relatively easy to use and the development speed is pretty fast. But we ran into several problems. One being that Gatsby doesn't handle mutations, subscriptions, anything that's not a query very well. And so we switched over to Query React App. And then we're using Apollo, Hasura, Clarify API. And Cloudinary. We're sending our pictures to Cloudinary, and then we're
get an image URL back, and then send that to Clarify.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you for the wonderful demo. Thanks for answering our many questions. Very exhaustive answers, by the way. It's clear that you put a lot of thought into the tools that you chose. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. Awesome. Pleasure.
Thank you.
Brandon.
Thank you.
You all have fun. Thanks again. I'll see you downstairs. This way, unless you want to go into the. I'm pretty impressed. How are you all feeling?
Yeah. It's all good stuff.
It's gonna be a hard decision.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting to hear sort of what the process is that people are using and how some teams are really going hard at the beginning at the planning process and kind of making sure that they're building something up front that's going to be useful. I think that's cool to see.
I think maybe like society has advanced enough where like when I was getting into the industry, I wouldn't have done that. Right? Nobody knew how to do that.
Yeah, it's a much more mature process that people seem to be undertaking, as opposed to just like I think it would be cool to, have 3 databases and then try and put them all together using an API that's strictly based on images. I don't have any idea what I just said.
No. Back when we started, we probably we didn't even have an API, right?
That's
like to
true,
talk to, we're all just like,
Can you think back to the days before APIs?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm old enough to remember.
Were there days like that?
I mean, I remember getting like floppy disks with shareware to play around with, right? Like because it didn't have internet.
When I was a kid, you had to build your own computer before you could start writing code.
Yeah. Welcome.
Hi, Quincy.
Hello.
Hey, Colin, right?
Got it. Thanks
Yeah.
for remembering.
Hey.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to be good with names. Okay, well, thank you so much for building this amazing project that vaulted you to what floor are we on?
The third floor.
Third floor. All the way up, like right above us. All there is a roof deck.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was a catapult that we used to get up here, right?
We heard that if we lose, you're going to catapult us off the roof into the
We would use a protege. Yeah.
Try not to tell everyone about that. It's a little scary.
Yeah, you'll be in keeping with our Double Dare theme. You'd be vaulted into Jello. Slime. Just don't say I don't know. All right. Well, welcome. It's so wonderful to have you both up here. Perhaps you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, how you all met, what brought you here.
Okay, so my name's Faye Yang. I flew in from Houston on Friday, Houston, Texas. I started freeCodeCamp about 2 years ago because I wanted to learn a little bit more. My day job's actually in corporate finance, but I see the potential for the future, and I would like to be able to work it more into my career.
My name's Colin. I live here in Oakland. Currently, I maintain a PHP app for a construction company that's working on the BART extension to San Jose on a contract basis. I would like to be doing a JavaScript thing on more of a full-time basis. We met the day before.
Friday.
Yeah, on Discord in the channel to meet.
Great, and I think that's the second team that made it all the way here that had actually met and talked Friday night. So preparation, planning, definitely seems to work, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, perhaps you could go ahead and tell us a little bit about SmarTea Pants and give us a demo.
So we're Team SmarTea Pants. T, like the Teapot song in Final Jeopardy. We built this app because every year there's more than 300,000 people who'd like to qualify for the show, but only 400 people actually make it. Now, this means that it's actually harder to get on Jeopardy than into Harvard. I decided on Monday that I would like to audition for Jeopardy, but in looking online, I couldn't find any user-friendly or modern resources. So when we came here, this is what we decided to build. So when you look at it, you're presented with a question, the category, and the value of the question. So in the city of Yuma, in this state, has a record average of 4,055 hours of sunshine each year. Any guesses?
Arizona?
Arizona. Very nice.
What is Arizona?
Don't have to use the what is.
Okay, cool.
So when you type in the correct answer, it increases your bank to 200, which was the worth of the, I think it's 100 for the worth of the question. 200, yeah. So then it automatically advances you to the next question. Now, for this one, let's say we don't know, we don't want to be docked, we just hit enter to move on. So, no change. Now, in this third one, we're feeling confident, we're going to take a guess. Any guess? We'll take a guess. And what we'll find is when it's wrong, the answer will show up below, but you also lose money in your bank. Well, now that you have the answer, you say, okay, let me type in the answer. Maybe it'll take it. And you can't cheat on this. What happens is when you hit enter, no points, no docking, move on. We found that this app will solve the real-life problem of we can take it on the go, it'll be mobile-friendly, and it has the capability to be a PWA powered by Gatsby.
We built SmarTea Pants using Gatsby, so that's React, Material UI, Netlify, and Fauna. Our first challenge was loading up the Fauna database. We used the Fauna importer command line tool. Right away, this gave us an issue that seems to have something to do with file format, even though our JSON data validated just fine. Deba at Fauna was super helpful. He was kind enough to actually go on their internal Slack channel and follow up, seek help, and follow up with me in an email. It turned out what we needed was just a single flag on the command line. I was just missing an option. Once we had that option, it worked fine. We loaded up 610 sample questions. That's 10 shows worth out of our total set of 200,000 real-world historic Jeopardy questions that we'd downloaded. The next step was to wire up that Fauna database to Netlify using Netlify's Lambda function service. This gave us 3 issues. First of all, in terms of development production parity, we had to run a server to run the functions in development, whereas in production, they're on the same domain. So then proxying to that server in Gatsby, it eluded us at first. The second thing, the TOML file format gave us some issues. We were putting sensitive data in there, we were putting API keys in there, and so we didn't want to version control it. So then we were like, how do we get that on Netlify? Remove the API keys and use Netlify's interface for environment variables, like Heroku. And the third thing was that Gatsby, in building on the back end, didn't have access to window.fetch. So we eventually figured out that we needed a fetch polyfill. In all of these, I have to give a huge shout out to Sean at Netlify, who was super generous and super patient. He basically sat with us and paired with us through all of these problems. He seems to like share our stoke at every success point on all of these. In resolving all of these issues and a couple more, really it was about simplify to the simplest possible use case and console log. That's something that I would say to other freeCodeCamp learners, especially people who are just starting out. Simplify, 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 and then get some output as soon as possible. Console log it. overall, our biggest sticking point was wiring up all these APIs together. I spent all day yesterday and an hour of this morning just getting these various APIs to work together and to get a build that would deploy. So that took away a lot of time from actually building UI, from actually building React components. Now that I've done it once, though, I would definitely go back. I would definitely use Netlify and this host of services again.
So for future applications, for the Jeopardy specific, we want to add more gameplay options, but I think we have an opportunity to also use this as a framework.
So I used to teach English to elderly Iranian immigrants who were trying to qualify for citizenship. So you could take this framework, all you need is your own fauna key and an appropriately formatted set of questions in JSON format. And you could upload those to your own fauna database, and then you could make something like a citizenship quiz app that you could take on the go, use at home, at work, on the bus, etc.
Great. First of
Yeah.
all, it sounds like you all learned quite a bit over the weekend.
For sure.
Do you have like ideas about, I don't know, opening it up to be a multiplayer contest, or end users can submit new questions or that kind of thing?
For end users submitting questions, if we're connecting to the Jeopardy historic database, I think maybe not, but for the expansion, with using different frameworks, yes. In terms of other players, we toyed with the idea of doing user authentication with profile, with stats, your strength and categories, a leaderboard, but with the limited amount of time that we had this weekend, we've opened up an own issue in our repo to work on it in the future.
I would definitely say that user identities and persisting data would be one of our next steps.
So I think one of the things everybody here liked about this app was that you scoped it very well. So you can easily see adding that in the future, right? But starting out with building something that in itself works and gives the idea before worrying about that is a really good approach.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, the core gameplay is there.
What are some other things that you did early on to kind of try and scope the project or divide up the work or do the planning before you actually started writing code?
So we drew it out. We drew it out about how we want the basic UI to look at, potential gameplay formats that we would pick a couple, and then how we would maybe do users and how we'd split it up. So UI, UX, React, and then more of the backend linking up the different APIs.
And from our very first contact, I would say we immediately started talking about what MVP looked like, what our literal minimal scope looked like. And then actually we have a teammate who can't be here because he's at work. So I said it took away time from working on the UI. He actually was working on like basic UI without being wired up to any backend yesterday while we were doing the API wire up stuff.
Wow. So you were able to work in tandem and not block one another.
Totally. Yeah.
Synchronously.
All right. Do we have any other questions for Colin and Faye?
Great app.
Would you keep working on it afterwards, or did we already hit that? Like, are you thinking about expanding it?
Yeah, we have like at least 2 or 3 issues that aren't very far off for us that I think we could get to really quickly.
And I would say when people look for jobs after FreeCodeCamp, they say build your portfolio, don't just build what's on the coursework, build what's your passion project, and I think I found mine in this one.
Cool.
Nice.
Right. And just one last question. When are you planning to apply to be on Jeopardy?
I don't know. I have a lot of studying, but first I need to build this app, then I'll study with the app, then I'll apply.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much. Faye, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks.
Colin, good to see you again.
Yeah.
Wow. A lot of games tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like a popular way to make something cool for a hackathon.
Absolutely.
And pretty exciting to, again, like if you're doing a game, that single player experience, the first thing you feel when you pick the game up matters so much to the success of the game.
Yeah.
So like they did, you can scope your app and leave out like so much of the hard heavy lift and still get your gameplay done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
what's the first game that any of you created? Did you ever? I mean, everyone's had to create a game at some point.
Right, the first has always been like the tutorial of doing the guess a number game.
Yeah.
That has to be like the first one.
I created like a Star Trek Next Generation quiz game.
Gratitude.
Well, I don't know about first, but like high pressure was like somehow I didn't know that I was gonna have like a whole bunch of people who were, you know, from overseas in my office, like learning the technology. And that morning, so I woke up and got to work, and here's all these people, and they don't really speak English, and they need to learn NoSQL, and so I got the monitor up with my editor, and I was like, let's make a game.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I also ended up making a game yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Live stream.
All right. Well, next up, we have the VisiJAM.
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 Yeah.
Thank you. VisiJAM. And I'm so thrilled to have you all here. Very impressed with your application. We can't wait to see it. Well, we can wait because first we want to learn a little bit about you all. We'll start here with Zubin, and then we'll go in clockwise order.
Well, can I hear real quick? What was it about our project that impressed you first?
So many things. Which
So
we'll
many
get to.
things?
Yeah, but several things. Yes, it's a very impressive application, and just the animation. I'll wait. I'll restrain myself. So, before I wax poetically about your app, I'll let the rest of the world see it. Zubin, take it away.
Hey, my name is Zubin. I'm actually from Melbourne, Australia. I was here on work and I'd reached out to Quincy, got a ticket because I really wanted to be part of this. I'm a freeCodeCamp student. In fact, freeCodeCamp sort of rescued me from deep depression because I couldn't figure out how to code before freeCodeCamp. I'd given up twice. And then thanks to freeCodeCamp, I really got back on and it's been upward since. So really excited to use my skills here.
Awesome. Welcome.
Yeah,
Welcome to the States.
Yeah, I love it here. It's great.
Great.
I'm Sean. I was born and raised in the Bay. I was originally in IT, and I since left my job to pursue learning code full-time. And I've been doing it about a year now, and this is my first hackathon, so I'm excited to learn.
Hi, my name is Ilan. I'm originally from Colombia. I've been in the Bay Area for about 5 years, and I'm a front-end developer. And I love the idea of JAMstack, so I'm very thrilled to be here and to learn more.
My name is Juan. I'm from Massachusetts, and I'm currently a student at Rhythm School.
Oh, cool. Good school.
My name is Sarah. I just moved to San Francisco a couple months ago to also attend Rhythm School, and this was my first hackathon, so it's great to be here. I learned a lot.
Great.
Yeah, my name is David Lau, and I'm a freeCodeCamp student, and I've been going through the curriculum, the new full stack web development curriculum, and I learned so much going through this project that you wouldn't learn by yourself because it's just a completely different setting. I mean, you think you know everything already, but once you work with other people, you don't know shit. Sorry, excuse my language. But no, it's great to work with other people with different backgrounds, and you need to just work with other people. You think you know it all, but you don't. You can always work with more people, and yeah, I love these guys.
Great. Well, word to the audience: come to hackathons, put yourself out there, get experience working with a team. All right, so let's see it.
All right.
You ready? Cool.
Yeah, all right. So I'll quickly introduce VisiJAM. So we like to think of VisiJAM as it's time to forget about Pokemon, capture data instead. Because, when you come to a hackathon, there's a real problem of invisible data. Who's there? What level of experience do they have? Do they need team members or not? How do they find team members? And then there's a problem for actual organizers and the product managers and others who run the sponsorship side of things, right? So the API and things like that, all the APIs available. Who's using it? Whether they had an easy time or not such an easy time using it, why did they choose to use it? This is all really valuable information from the organizational point of view. So eventually what we're going to make VisiJAM do is also be a matchmaking service for attendees, and at the same time provide really high quality data to organizers and the sponsors. When we got together, we realized it was such a pain because none of us actually knew each other. It was hard to find team members, and that right away was an immediate problem that we wanted to try and solve. That's where this started. And then we said, before we start building or writing any code, let's actually validate this. So we went and had a whole bunch of interviews, spoke to a bunch of people, interviewed each other and others who had attended, identified the basic problem statement, then started prioritizing what we wanted to build, researched the APIs, built it. It was a great experience. And so what VisiJAM does now, as you can see, it's a pretty straightforward dashboard. We've got all that is real-time data, and so we've used Gatsby and Netlify, of course. We've also used FormSpree. So that's actually real data from attendees at this hackathon. So David, if you want to go to the entry form, so that's actually, we can actually start punching in data right now, and David will do that as I speak, but it asks a bunch of questions, and you can see that it'll update. So when we go back to the dashboard, you will see, for example, if David were to say that he's now very experienced in Java, it'll show that there was another person who's increased his level of experience in, let's say, Java. We can add stuff fairly quickly to this that also talks about what APIs they use. Right now, we're using FormSpree for the actual form, and we're also using FormSpree's backend with an API endpoint from where we can retrieve the data. We're using Netlify to actually run the continuous deployment, and the Netlify login page is also possible, but that makes sense only once we have a proper user data model and stuff like that. Right now, you can see that when he submits it, it'll say.
Okay. What I want is I want the viewer to be able to see that I've made a change in the data. So what I'm going to do is I need to make another tab, and because I don't want it to look like dummy data, so that when I do something, actually the change is reflected. So right now the percentage of male you can see is gender 66.2%. So once I enter my form data, it should theoretically increase 66.2 by whatever one of whatever is the total. So as long as it's larger than that, so we'll know it's different. 66.2. Yeah. So go to the. This actually doesn't work. It goes to the.
Yeah, you can go back to the.
It goes back to the form. Just go back to that.
Yeah, I'll go back to the bookmark. So male was 66.2. It's 66.7. So there was a dip. So we can see that there's a change in the data.
Yeah.
And what we did was we had members of our team walk up to other attendees and personally deliver this kind of survey, conduct the kind of survey, ask them these questions. Some of us asked them the questions. I just gave them the link. It's like, hey, could you do this for us? And if you're nice, they'll say, yeah, of course, why not? It's just a couple minutes to fill out a simple form. But yeah, the root problem, as Zubin mentioned, was when we all came in, we didn't know who each other are, and we could use this data to, if we had this data beforehand, we would know better about the other attendees. Oh, you work with JavaScript. I work with JavaScript too. It's just an easier way to know who each other are. It would have been helpful if we had this before, but we made it now. We can use this for future hackathons. Anything, we can expand it to wherever we want, but we couldn't do that all in 2 days. So we just did what we could, just the basic.
So one of our users actually had a really cool suggestion. They're like, we've done 2 or 3 of these hackathons before, but we don't have a profile that says that. With a link to the hackathons, and I actually thought that's actually a fantastic idea. Let's talk about user-generated product development, right? Somebody actually, so if David's done 3 hackathons, these are the dates. This is the link. It's a great platform for hackathons to advertise their hackathons as well, and the product stack building. Like there's so much stuff we could use, and unlike other, we wanted to be careful not to make it a trivial sort of application. We wanted to make it something that could prove that the APIs were also capable of supporting a B2B use case, which I think is really important from a monetization point of view for the API certainly. So we said, okay, if this was a serious product, could it actually, could the APIs actually support it? And they absolutely can. So it's great.
Excellent. Thank you for the demo. Questions?
Have you thought about how to get the word out? To me, this is like tailor-made for press releases and having magazines right on.
I'd love to get on a live stream. I don't know if you have any ideas of how we could do that, but that would be awesome.
This is the live stream.
Thank you.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah. But yeah, we can always make it. We can always make it better. I know it looks kind of. It looks simple right now, but we can make it like more interactive. So that once you enter your data, you can know exactly, like it'll animate, so you can see the change and difference of the data, so it doesn't look like I have to refresh the page. But yeah, we can look over the data, and this kind of data could be interesting to a data scientist who studies data. I don't think none of us had kind of background data scientists, but I've heard of what they do. I mean, I know what their role is. It's different than us. We're doing development. We make the structure. We use the structure and build up the product. But to this, a data scientist, they could see, this this event had many attendees who had experience with JavaScript, right? Like 20 beginners, 38 intermediate, and 5 advanced. And not many Ruby developers, so probably not too many who develop on Ruby. Most.
Can I just jump in actually, because that's an interesting question. How would you guys want to use this? Because we've asked a lot of the participants. We haven't had a chance to ask people who actually produce the APIs and the management. How would you like to use something like this? Or how would you see this being useful?
Well, you mentioned a little bit matchmaking, which would you need to go deeper, so you'd model the individual.
Correct.
The
Exactly.
individual who fills out the survey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a feature that we talked about in our planning process. But when we were thinking about what's our minimum viable product in a 2-day period, it was kind of on the wish list.
Yeah. We had to be really strict about prioritizing, but that's the perfect sort of thing for a GraphQL kind of back end. It would have been awesome. Yeah. Any other ideas?
At what point did you guys all decide, like, this is what we're going to build and start actually building?
I think we had this basic concept pretty quickly, within 5 minutes of discussing our plan.
Yeah.
And then we kind of had a sort of spiderweb conversation of what about these features? We made a list. And then probably took another 20 minutes to really narrow down this is our minimum viable product. And I think one of the big challenges we faced is even when we were starting out, we started out with a static JSON file that we were loading the data from, and then we wanted to transition to the live update that hits the API. So a lot of us are really new to Git, and so having kind of different branches where we were experimenting with different things created some merge conflicts. So it was actually great to have the opportunity to kind of work through that together.
No, you asked how the idea started, right? Mm-hmm. It actually started when we all sat down and we had to brainstorm an idea, and Elon, he just threw it out there. It's we should start asking people around. I mean, he had the initiative to just bring it up, and we were all listening. We were thinking if it's a good idea. We thought about it and we said, yeah, let's do it.
Well, I have to definitely commend your execution because it takes. I can speak from experience having built projects where you go around and you ask everybody at the hackathon to do something. It takes a lot of work and a lot of courage to approach your peers and stick an iPad in their hand or however you were going about doing it. So, it's really impressive. You mind scrolling down just a little bit to the years of coding? So according to Typeform, which is what we use to collect data for giving up the tickets. The tickets were free, but you had to go through this JAMstack tutorial I created. And one of the questions was, how long have you been coding? And the median number of months was 16 months coding, which is right there in the sweet spot. Yeah. So this is so it's
between 1 and 2 years. So that's exactly right. That's the representation. That's the distribution.
Just between 12 and 20.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool that your data is so representative as my data, which was 1,000 data points.
That's great.
Yeah, it shows there's a wide range of experience, and there's some that works less than 6 months. So, if you're attending someone, maybe you're experienced and you want to group up with someone experienced as well. So you guys can get started real quick right away. Maybe you want to group up with someone with less experience so you can mentor them. That's a possibility too. If people who signed up had less experience, you could link them up with the people who are looking for
And I think also in just promoting future hackathons. For me this was my first hackathon and I was kind of wondering whether I should sign up or not. Am I going to be ready? And so seeing that in the last hackathon there were people who had less than 6 months of coding experience could be a way to make more people feel comfortable in the future.
Were there questions you wanted to put in but left out because you didn't have too many questions?
Absolutely. I mean, we wanted to actually talk about stuff like hopefully we were thinking if we could collect the data fairly close to the end, but we knew that's a high pressure time. Everyone's going to just tell us to take a hike, right? But the idea was, which of the APIs did you use and actually just have it checked. We've got the form widget. I just haven't productionized that bit because we didn't want to add that. There were a couple of questions like that. How many have you done before and stuff like that. So we just wanted to prioritize what we know people will be happy to share very quickly. It takes less than 30 seconds to collect the data when we went out per head, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and as part of the ideation process, we talked about if we wanted to be more individual contributor, like a member or someone attending focused, or sponsor focused, right? So with once we decide on that, we were also able to kind of parse through the questions and be like, okay, this is something more that like Netlify would want to know, right? This is more something someone like me, Sarah, or Elon would want to know. So we did that as well.
Well, I'm very impressed with this, and I could definitely see this as being kind of like one of the major components of essentially a larger open source hackathon toolkit that hackathon organizers could use. And one of the things we built over the weekend at freeCodeCamp was that leaderboard. We called it the project index because it wasn't actually a leaderboard, but it, this plus that, which is open source. I think they put the MIT license on it, and all these other tools that we could potentially come up with. We could potentially have like a whole suite when you want to have a hackathon. Clone this repo.
Yeah.
Get started, right?
We put this on MIT license as well. Yeah.
Quincy, actually, I want to bring this up. What we did was actually something you did earlier, simpler, before, like this year, which was like every time you sign into the FreeCodeCamp page, there's a survey, a link with the header says, click here. We're doing a mass survey of all the developers. Please give us 5 minutes. That's exactly what we did. We asked people, their background, just demographic information.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what you did, and then we just brought it live to the the attendings.
The locationality of it and the temporality of it are definitely an interesting aspect. And what Dave is referencing is the 2018 New Coder Survey, which we interviewed 30,000 people. We had them all fill out a survey. We're currently crunching those numbers, but we're going to release that as a giant public data set, hopefully in a month or so.
And people are interested in that data, right?
We're going to get it out there.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Zubin.
Thanks, everybody.
David.
Thank you.
Sarah.
Thanks, Trent.
Juan. Elon. Sean. You all are great. You've done some amazing work here. And thanks again. I hope you'll stick around and eat some food and get some drinks. And we'll talk downstairs.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
All right, and I think we have. Anybody need to go to the bathroom? Hang in there. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Team number 7. Where in the world? They should be coming in.
Plug. Here's my resume if you want to hear more about me. Yeah, it's a shameless plug.
You have got some.
There you go. Shameless
audacity.
plug.
I respect it.
Shameless plug. All right, there you go.
Think it is a good-looking resume. Good hierarchy.
I need that. It's smaller than it looks like.
All right, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for waiting in the hall. It is thrilling to introduce you all. We were very impressed with your application. We can't wait to see it. Before we do, let's go around and talk about each of you and your background and what drew you to this hackathon. We'll start with you.
Sure. My name is Tatis. I've been a full stack web developer for a few years, but recently left my company to go to work on a JAMstack app, a business built around a JAMstack app of my own. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm here because JAMstack drew me, the conference drew me to San Francisco and wanted to stick around for the hackathon as well.
So I'm Jeff. I am a freelance web developer. I've been working for about 7-8 years, various contracts, and I've been really into the JAMstack because I love working on the front end part of things, and I like working on the interface and what you see, and if I can have APIs take care of the back end, it's great. So I wanted to meet more people that are all about that kind of stack and see where I can go with it. So yeah, great.
My name is Gabe Greenfield. I'm a front-end developer. I work at Frontier Airlines in Denver, Colorado. And yeah, I'm drawn to the JAMstack as another front-end developer looking to outsource some of that back-end work so that I can do what I love and make apps really quick that are fun, cool, exciting, and really powerful. So yeah.
My name is Tyler Vick. I live in Columbus, Ohio. I am an aerospace engineer turned data scientist turned web developer. And I've been using Netlify in my freelance work, and I couldn't miss the chance to come to a sponsored JAMstack conference and hackathon.
Right. Well, it sounds like you all have a lot of JAMstack experience between the four of you. So it's awesome. Jeff, you want to take it away with the demo?
Yeah. So, well, I guess.
Yeah, we're Team Where in the World, and we are going to be doing a live game show with everybody watching. So if you're watching, please join in. Check. There's a link on the Discord, or you can go to witworld.live. Yes, we bought a domain. Don't worry, it's hosted on Netlify.
We gotta get everyone involved. I don't know
Probably
if
too
it's
Please join that link. And so we're gonna get started here. But and if it's taking you a minute, you can join in the middle. It's fine.
So if you just go here, put in your name.
And it's gonna show up on the leaderboard. So pick a name that you'll recognize.
Yeah, so we'll give them a minute to join.
Now we're in the lobby. If you look in the top left there, you can see the player count increasing live. No need to refresh. It'll keep updating as more players join. Looks like we got.
You might want to drag the window just a little bit.
Yeah,
It's kind of
yeah.
obscured.
Oh, is it not?
Yeah.
Hopefully it's
There we
on
go.
the
We
screen.
have
18. Wow.
13.
13. Yeah.
Okay.
Great. All right. So now we
14?
can.
14.
I think we're about ready. Let's kick it off. We're gonna kick it. We're using a little Netlify function with our
We
little
might play a couple
back
games
end.
So
too,
the game is, there's going to be an image and then there's a map. You want to point a pin on the map where you think that image is. That's basically it. Where in the world the image is.
All right, we ready?
So about to kick it off here.
Okay, let's do it.
So now everyone sees this, and if the mobile should see the images, the map below the image, and if you're on a desktop, you'll see a
I
little
can
more.
see where I'm guessing.
So now Jeff has guessed. He's submitted. Everyone else is getting their submissions in, and as everyone else is guessing, we're going to see them pop up live here, wherever everyone thinks it is. And then you also, if you make the screen a little smaller, we can see the scores on the right as well.
Oh yeah.
Don't forget to hit submit, because if you don't hit submit, you just won't get the we won't record your guess.
Too late. What happened there?
Oh man.
But don't worry,
we can run it again.
We can run another game in a second here, but you can see the scores are popping up there on the right as everyone's done, and the game is over, right?
Yep.
The game is over. You get 30 seconds, and that's the game.
I
And
love
we
that we
can
actually have
play.
Let's do another one.
participating.
Do another one for those of you who missed
Yeah.
or might have had anything unclear with the instructions. So
Alright.
play again
So
button
click-
pops up.
You should
At
have
the
a
top
button
right.
up here,
Yeah.
or in your mobile app somewhere to click play
Top
again.
at the top to play again.
So now we'll be in the waiting room.
Oh man, we got 21 now. Getting up there.
This
Yeah.
one
can
I'm
feel
just
the
gonna do
pressure.
random.
All right, ready to play another one? Let's do
Let's
it.
do it.
Absolutely.
All right, here we go. We're live. Where in the
guessing
world?
where.
Jeff didn't have a very good guess, but
Nice.
middle of the United States. I don't think there's any water there, Jeff.
Colorado, maybe?
Oh, maybe.
We've got.
Oh,
Oh, everyone's so far away. What's?
We're all over the place here. What's going on?
Oh, someone's in Idaho. Lots of California, San Francisco.
Is that could that be the Golden Gate Bridge?
That's sexy.
It looks like a Golden
looks
Gate
like-
Bridge,
Is it?
Uh-oh.
but I don't know. Some
people
people
Oh,
are
wait,
over
it's
here.
the game's over.
Oh, no, they
and
knew.
the answer is it's in Lisbon.
Oh,
It's right here.
It's
Look at that.
Made by the
This
same
one
company
version.
that built the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah, that's true.
Really?
Did you know?
Yeah.
Oh.
Interesting. They got their trademark
Oh
red.
man, I was very far off.
But now
it's
it's
Randall. I think Randall is
Randall.
the winner.
Randall crushed it.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right,
Love
good
it.
job, Randall.
That
It's not in
was right on the
Kazakhstan.
mark, 8 kilometers away.
Yeah.
All right, yeah,
So,
so
yeah.
that's our demo. And we'll pull up our little acknowledgement slide here. We jammed a lot together into this little app here, but we can run through these. Hasura was very instrumental in that we were making use of GraphQL subscriptions, and it made it really easy to set those up, like the WebSocket endpoint that they automatically generate for us, and made that really easy. Netlify, we obviously deployed on Netlify, and then also used a lot of Netlify functions. So that's when we're waiting to get the game started, we have a little on our GitHub README, we set up a little admin panel that makes it easy to just start a game with different images that we have lined up, curated to go. And then on the bottom we have all the little pieces, the little moving pieces that help make it happen. So it's it's a React app. We're using Apollo on the client side to do the GraphQL integration with Hasura. Heroku's hosting our Hasura instance, and the Google Maps API provided the map, and some of the Slack and GitHub tooling we used for just our development process, essentially.
Yeah. Great, good demo.
Awesome.
How did y'all get together as a team, and how did you choose what you were going to build?
Well, we all kind of met each other at the conference. We were all at the conference and sort of we were mutually connected there. And we formed our team yesterday morning at breakfast and threw out some ideas. And we just chose one shortly after the keynote and went with it.
Yeah, we kind of the way we described what we honed in on is that we wanted to do two things. We wanted to show the power, show the power of the JAMstack, and also show people the world. That was the kind of focus that we were going for.
Nice. How? What was kind of the product development process? Like, did you, did you do any drawings? Did you kind of like do any, I don't know, case user study kind of thing or anything like that, or did you just dive right into writing code?
We did some like data modeling. I brought in a little mini whiteboard. Whatever, this guy. That came in handy. Yeah. So we did some data modeling, so that way we could have like some sample data in our database.
And it was really good for just kind of driving the discussion of like, we didn't think about this concept the same way.
Yeah.
So then we were able to like kind of bridge those gaps before we started writing a single line of code or thinking of a single mock.
Yeah. And then we split up like someone working on the data, setting up the database, and then working on the front end. We decided to do a pair programming because we didn't want too much confusion, and we could just put two minds onto one computer, and that worked really well. I think that was really fun.
Because especially like there were moments where like somebody was really honed in on something, needed to get something done. Maybe we were an hour before some deadline, but because we pair programmed most of it, we were always able to rely on some other person who knew each piece of all these different pieces that were working together. So we could always have like kind of like a fallback plan in case like the person who had actually been doing the driving wasn't available at the moment.
What features are just outside of scope that you would add if you had more time?
The two big ones that we had in mind were the ability for users to kind of like facilitate these games in the sense that like uploading the photos. We think one of our inspirations was Trivia HQ, so we like the concept of having one game going on, but it'd be nice if kind of with our show the world kind of mission, if users could like say like I think this place is really cool and I want more people to know about it. Let me submit a photo of that place and let's play a game about it. And then the other one is kind of have like a different, potentially like different localizations for the games. So like everyone can play a world game, but if we were to like say let's play like a San Francisco kind of game, then there'd be like the like level of granularity at which the photos would come in and then people could play would be only relevant to people who like really know the area. So then just kind of like different levels of localization would be interesting as well.
Yeah, I could see this being really popular. My parents love that Trivia HQ game, and they always play together. And I could definitely see this being like a community thing. Like San Francisco has so many distinctive landmarks and even little benches that people might be able to recognize.
Yeah. For sure. And we thought long term maybe we could introduce training of machine learning on some of these images. Maybe do like a What in the World app where you could look at certain things and see what those things are. But yeah, that's kind of a far goal.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in and giving this awesome demo. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah.
Building this. You've used a lot of different tools.
Yeah, I think it's always awesome when something is scoped just right, so you can actually like really end up with a working demo and a live domain and launch something to the world in a weekend.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, like with all the tools, it makes that easier. Like I'm surprised that in 2 days we could do this, but I think like all of these tools, Netlify, Hasura, React, I mean, it's like, yeah, pretty cool.
I think I would have spent half a hackathon just putting up a website when I was a full stack web developer. Now it's like Netlify, buy domain, deploy. Oh, we're live on our new domain. Yeah, cool. It was amazing.
It's a brave new world.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure, gentlemen. I'll see you downstairs.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've had very in-depth talks with 7 different teams, and we are going to discuss among ourselves the judging team. I just want to give a final shout out, Netlify, for everything they're doing, for providing the fundamental technology that this entire hackathon has run on. Thank you so much, Matt, for your sponsorship and for being on the judging panel.
Thanks.
Thank you, Chris, and everything you all are doing over at Fauna. Very excited about it. We're interested in exploring it ourselves at FreeCodeCamp. Thank you so much, Cole. You're an incredible interviewee. We're going to post that interview with Cole later. Thanks to FormsFree for sponsoring. And everybody who's watching, have a beautiful evening and keep jamming.